Hey y'all, and welcome to my second video. So today our topic isn't as warm and sweet as some, or funny you may say, but it's definitely one that's worth telling because it's one that I've wanted to sit down and talk about for a long time, but I never really found the courage or had the balls. So to put a long story short, my ex abused my dog. I came home from a chicken wing date and my dog was either burnt or skinned with a razor. It was either burnt with like flame or something, or skinned with a razor. I was with this man for about a month and a half, and he had a bad home life, so he was living with me at the time. And around dinner time, a girlfriend of mine, we'll call her Nancy, wanted to go out for dinner with a couple other friends of ours. And she lived upstairs in the building that I was in, and yeah, so we just decided to go out, and my boyfriend at the time, we'll call him Mark, and his friend, we'll call him Joe. We were all hanging out, and those two decided they didn't want to come. So Mark and Joe hung out, and they went to the courthouse, and the courthouse was like a block from that house or apartment. So I was like, okay, well, you go there, and then I'll go out for dinner, and then I'll try and bring you back something, that sort of thing. I'll text you when I'm home. And yeah, so we went out and I got all dolled up. I was so excited. It was this place like Niagara Falls, and um, I don't know, I just live like 10 minutes from there, so I was really excited, but I never really get there. And they have the best chicken wings, the best like mayonnaise dip, like beer mayo is to die for, and really good um, like beer on tap or whatever. Like they have like the big kegs of it. So that was that. And I was really excited. And we get there, and then we finish eating and all that good stuff. And I get a text from Mark. And Mark's like, hey, like, I'm really bored. It's really cold, or it's too hot. I'd have to look back to see what month this happened. It's kind of sad. But yeah, it was like a good almost 2 years now. So whatever. Um, yeah. It's not really whatever, but fuck this kid. um, Whatever. Things happen though, right? So yeah, he goes, yeah, I'm cold, I'm hot, I'm just gonna come in the house because I have your door code. Is that okay? And I'm like, okay, Mark, like, if you must. He was a little bit irresponsible, so I didn't really care to have that because I didn't trust him. He didn't have money. I was scared he was gonna steal my smokes and like just have people over. Like, I wasn't really sure. Be too loud for my neighbors. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect. Plus, this kid had ordered like FIFA, like stupid soccer weekend championships on my Coach. So I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I don't want you on my TV when I'm not around, because I was literally sleeping in the other room, and he bought like a $300 package for fucking soccer. And I was like, okay, whatever. But yeah, that was him in a nutshell. So I was like, okay, Mark, if you insist, like, go on ahead. And then about an hour later, I was like, hey, like, I'm on my way home. And I texted him, like, I got your chicken wings. And it was a weird coincidence. I ended up forgetting his chicken wings. So, I mean, I don't think that all of this became because I forgot his chicken wings, but we'll see. I don't know. I said, I got you chicken wings. And then the funny thing was, I ended up forgetting them. So I told him I forgot them, and Buddy kind of like went off a little bit, and he was like, he was just mad, like he was just being a dick. He was going off. He was like, "How the fuck could you do something like that? Like, how could you be so stupid? Like, just being inconsiderate and whatever, just a complete douche nugget." And I was like, "Okay, like I'll be home soon. I'm sorry. I did my best. I'm really sorry." And like I got home, and my dog was in like the dog cage, and I never put my dog in the dog cage. And I only had one dog at the time and a cat. Now I have two dogs and a cat. So I'm like, I only have one dog, and the dog never went in the cage. The dog was like at my hip 24/7. Like, he even went to the restaurant half the time with me. Like, I have his papers so he can go wherever he wants and wherever I want to bring him. And yeah, so I was like, okay, why is the dog in the cage? And he's like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't have any idea. Um, he must have just went in there. And I'm like, okay, but it's locked. Like, are you good or not, bro? Like, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, I don't know. Maybe I accidentally did. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, are you good? what just happened? Like, who are you? Like, why would anyone do that? Like, okay, fine. So I took him out, and he was covered in something wet. And I was like, yo, like, what the fuck is that? Like, why is my dog all wet? He's like, I don't know. What are you talking about? Like, continually pretending like I was talking gibberish, you know? And guys, it was this complete day of fuckery, like something out of a nightmare, like Elm Street. Like, you would never want to meet someone like this. He was just off his rocker. His eyes were like another shade when I had gotten home. Oh, I couldn't with that kid. And so, yeah, he claimed he didn't know my dog Tucker was all wet, and he had no idea. And then I smelled dog pee all over the dog, and I was like, oh shit, like, why is Tucker all wet with pee? Like, what the fuck? Like, he peed all over himself in the cage? Like, are you kidding me right now, you know? And, um, yeah, so he says, oh, I don't know, he just tinkled a bit in the cage, and I'm like, no, like, he's, like, dripping, like, he would leave, like, circles, like a puddle, and I was like, what the fuck? So I was freaking out about that, and then I let him out of the cage, and he ran as fast as he could underneath my bed. And so I still came at the guy. I was like, not okay with him having my dog covered in pee, obviously. And I was like, yo, like, you don't put my dog in the cage. You don't cover him up in like his pee and like not let him out. Like, you, if he had gone in the cage, you can't just close the door. Like, whatever the case, like, what happened? And he was just at me. He's like, you're a CUNT, like, see you next Tuesday type deal. You're this, you're that. Like, just, I don't know what was wrong with him or what I had done, but I think he was probably on drugs, to be honest. Not like he did them all the time, but I heard that like he liked to have fun, so maybe he like tried something new, and that's pretty much what the cops said too. So I honestly don't know, but yeah, he went off on me. Um, yeah, and then I didn't even go get the dog out from under the bed. I I was just like sitting on the couch and we were arguing, and I was like, originally he was on the couch, then he got up, he was yelling at me, and I sat down, and then I was sitting on the couch, and he came and poured a fucking like a big, 7-Eleven big gulp on my head, full of spit and like chewing tobacco and like things like that, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you? I was just and I grabbed and I like poured one at him too. But it was like this much in like a nothing. And it was because like we had all those boys over that day and our group of friends, and they fucking had their chew cups, and like someone had one big one that went on my head. Someone had this other little one, and that's all I had left. So I'm like, here you go, take it, buddy. Like, how fucking dare you? Were you raised in a barn? Like, oh, just shook to the core. Anyways, crazy. So we haven't even gotten to the saddest part. I can live with it. I had a shower. Thankfully, I had a nice girlfriend at the time who took care of me, and she and this other girl washed sort of like my hair under the tap and like rinsed it like you do as a kid in the tub, and then they braided it like this, and but like a nice one actually. I think it was like boxer braids, and yeah, it was so sweet. They took care of me anyways. But so then I do that to him. I freak out. I kick him out. Like, he won't get out, though. And I literally boot him with my foot. Like, get the fuck out. And everyone's sort of just standing there. Like, I had, like, 6 or 7 people over at the time. And they were like, what the fuck? Like, what do I do? And I was just like... Sorry. I am so sick. Ugh. Yeah, I was just like, oh, fuck. Like, this is embarrassing. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Like I said, like, people are crazy. And you get all sorts. So... yeah. I kicked him out, and then I'm sitting on the couch, have perfectly bathed hair. I don't know if I had a bath before I checked on the dog. I sort of doubt it. But yeah, anyways, whether it was before or after, that I was sitting on the couch with the dog, and I noticed that he was like spitting up at the mouth. And I was like, well, what's going on with his mouth? Like, he sort of looks like he was like in a seizure, or he had like poisoned. And that was our first thought, actually. Yeah, we were like, was he poisoned? Like, did your crazy ass boyfriend give him something that he shouldn't have had, and now he's foaming at the mouth and he's gonna have to go to the vets? Like, what happened? And So as I'm looking at the dog, I'm sort of just sitting there and I'm bawling my eyes out with my friend. And my other friend had left. It was just two girls, and one of them left. It was me and this other girl, and she's like, "Yo, like if he's spitting up still in like 20 minutes, you should take him to the vet. Like it's not just like him getting sick or something, you know? It's like a problem." So at first, I thought it was just maybe panic, too much endorphins, like not endorphins, adrenaline going on, and that sort of thing, like too much. And so he was just overwhelmed, and he's a Chihuahua. He's like 5 pounds, so I thought he was just maybe spitting up, but it turned out that he was spitting up, but he had other things wrong with him too. So we did have to take him to the vet. So as I took him to the vet, it was like 2 in the morning. It was a 24-hour vet. Um, I show up and I'm just beside myself. I still have the pictures, and it's almost like it was another world because you try so hard to like keep keeping yourself positive and upbeat and keep going in life that it almost does seem like you've lived a couple lives. So that was, it was a couple lives ago. But yeah, I went to the 24-hour vet in Thorold, and they took a look at him. They said, "Okay, wait in this first room here with the like waiting area, the chairs and like the kids' toys, whatever, and like the magazines, and we'll be back in a minute." And I'm like, "All right, sounds good. Like, thanks for everything. Like, just a mess." I'm surprised that I actually was out of PJs. Like, I did get changed to leave the house, but it was just, one of those times that you wish that nobody had seen you, but you're thankful that people were there to help. Um, yeah. So I sat there. They came back though about 5 or 10 minutes later, and they were like, "Yo, like, what's with the abrasions on your dog?" And I was like, "What? Like abrasions? Like my dog doesn't have any of those. And what is an abrasion?" Like, I'm sorry, what? So they were. Oh, I'm sorry, that's my cat Cosmo. They were like, "Yeah, so your dog has abrasions on his side right here, like cuts." And I was like, "Oh my god, like what the fuck do you mean? Like how did that happen?" I was literally so confused, just oh my god, I was so confused and upset and just distraught. I was like, "How the fuck did this happen? Like why was I just confused, you know? Like why was he covered in pee? Why was he in his cage? How did he hurt himself? What's wrong with his mouth?" Like mind blown. And well, because I left him. Like, I let this guy come in my house, and I left him in the house with this guy, like, my boyfriend, Mark. And his buddy Joe, thinking about it now, he told me afterwards, like, he had came home one time to my house because I was like really close with them both, and they both had my door code. And he said that he came to my house one time, and the dog was locked in the bathroom. So that's really weird. And I'm not even over exaggerating. He literally said that Joe said that Mark had my dog Tucker in the tub with the water going and the shower on for like 12 hours or something. And I was like, "What the fuck? Like, why wouldn't you have told me that?" And this was after the vet visit, and like shit hit the fan. And I was like, "What the fuck? Like, what? Like, what do you mean?" And maybe not 12 hours, but he's like, "Yeah, like a whole day." And I was like, completely upset and just, I don't know. I'm sort of at a loss for words. I didn't even know what to do when I found out that this guy wasn't who I thought he was, as you can imagine. And it was a really awful time in my life. I didn't really go out much. Like, I didn't know who to trust, and I sort of still don't. Like, that sort of does put a big factor on, like, the people that you're gonna put yourself around. I probably should have got to know him better. Probably should have met his family, and, like, things like that. Things you learn as you grow up, and you're a little bit naive. So, lesson that me and my poor dog had to learn. Um, Skip back to the vet. They said the abrasions. I'm looking at them. I'm feeling awful. Just, my heart is broken for this dog. I'm crying with my arms on him on the table. Just be weeping. Like, you're going to be okay. Like, everything's all right. You know what I mean? And the, the doctor tells me, "You're not going to be able to take him home tonight." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not leaving without him. Like, I'm just getting a call, but it's all right. I'll call them back." Yeah, I'm like, "I'm not leaving without him. Like, I don't know what time you guys close or whatever, but I'm probably gonna stay here until the very second that you close on the couch. And if you need him for 24 hours, like, I just, it was probably 4 a.m. I slept on the couch till like 7, 8, maybe 7 or 8. There was like a couch in the waiting room as well, and I slept there till 8, and then they called me back the next day at like 2, I want to say, and they were like, okay, like you can come get your dog at like 3 or 4 today. And I was like, okay, like thank fucking Jesus. Like, thank you. Thank you so much. Like, bless you and your soul and your family and blah, 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 blah. So, day was made, needless to say. And yeah, I went and picked up Tucker. He was, of course, very, 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 very sore for, I'd probably say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month and a half tops. Probably a month and a half. For the first 2 weeks, the worst. I remember he wouldn't move. Like, it actually is making me really sad to think about. But he wouldn't move. I would just be sitting here in bed, and I don't know. Like, I'm a bed person. I have like a living room with couches, but like I'm usually in bed. Like, it's cozy. It's my spot, and I have a spot on the couch too. But I like the spot better. And he was beside me, and his spot, like, if my man's not here and no one else is in the bed, like, he's got to be right beside me. Even if everyone else is too, he still squeezes in there. So he was right there, and just, like, couldn't sleep. Buddy's eyes were, like soup bowls, and just like this, like, but, like, shook. Like, you could tell he'd, like, shake sometimes. Like, he'd, like, groan if he tried to move. Like, he was so, so sad. Like, and now, here he is, at the moment. Speak of the devil, he's just so cute. Hey, babies. Hi, babies. Oh. Say hi to the camera. Say hi to the camera. Oh, there's a Tucker. Yeah. Yeah, you my Chihuahua warrior? Chihuahua warrior. And I don't know if you can tell, but that's his skin right there where he was cut or burned. It's just, it's taken a minute to grow in, but like right here, little bits, I've been starting to over time. I know it's absolutely horrible thing that he had to go through. I'll cover him back up now in his little blankies. It is an absolutely horrible thing that he had to go through, and every single day I feel bad that I dated that man and brought that person into my puppy's life, but the only thing that I can do is try to be more cautious on the people that I interact with and not be so trusting. And, you know, it happens, I guess. Not so much this. I guess this is pretty out of this world, and that's why I have wanted to tell this story, because I think it's pretty crazy that someone would do something like that, especially to a 5-pound, like, animal. I used to literally bawl every time I talk about it, because my dog's been with me through so much. I've been homeless with my dog for a minute. I've gone to a women's shelter like that time in my life. I've left the abusive relationship with the dog. I've got him in it. And he was my best friend at the time, because that person brought me down consistently. And then I accidentally met someone else that wasn't the best influence in our lives. And he accidentally, not so much accidentally, he took that out on Tucker. And I accidentally let that happen. And I just wanted to say in this video, like, I don't want it to seem like I'm playing it off, like it's whatever. Because my mother ended up paying for the vet bill that day at the time, and it was $1,200, and then $450 for a later date. He had to go for a checkup, and he got more medicine, and he was on probably like 10 or 12 medicines at the time, so it was a lot to keep up with. And if I didn't have my mother, I wouldn't have Tucker right now, and I wouldn't be able to have my puppy in my life anymore, just because of my mistake. So it's not anything to be taken lightly, if you know what I mean. I just want to say that now. But he is doing amazing. He is my warrior, and he is a straight survivor as well. He is inspiring. He is everything. He keeps going no matter what. he just, it's like, I don't know, I don't even know how to begin to explain it. It's like he acts as if a child, you know, and so innocent, like dogs do, and why it's so hard to believe that someone would do that to a dog. But he just acts like so free-spirited, I guess, is the word I want to say. And he's something, he has a little something that everybody can learn from him, the way he acts and his character. So yeah, it was $1,200 at the vet for like his overnight and for his medicine and like whatever they did to his abrasions to make them sort of get better, but there was honestly not much. They pussed over, they were scabby, and then they've now turned into scars that have, as you saw, like taken over sort of his skin. And they started as like this and this, like sort of like cuts, and then they just got bigger and bigger, and his fur started to flake off with the cuts and the scabs, and it was really, really sad. So I'm happy to see that he is the dog that he is today still. And I got him a girlfriend recently in September, I think it was, or the end of August. So yeah, I got him a girlfriend, and she's still a baby herself. She's like 8 months. So never ever letting anyone into my life that is not animal friendly, because I love animals to death, and I just can't believe that I let that happen. But you can't feel guilty for everything forever. So try and let that go and just live my best life with my puppers. But yeah, just take from this video to be careful with who you interact with. I ended up meeting this person, to be honest, because I wanted marijuana a couple of 420s ago. I wanted to get some dope and smoke up, and he's like, yo, do you want to hang out together for the day? And we ended up just hitting it off, and I was new to the city, and I trusted him, and we hit it off. We had the same birthday, we were the same age, we were pretty much from the same area, we've been through similar scenarios, like I thought we were gonna be really close, but you just don't know in life, these sorts of things from one to the next. And with that, I want to end today's video. I hope I didn't depress you all too much, and stay tuned for more videos and pictures. You can find the link to my socials down below for anything me and Tucker. And also my other dog's name is Elsa, and that black cat at the beginning was Cosmo, but it's mostly me. The animals are just for pretty. Bye, fam.